Degrees. A little bit of a breeze down here in the river, but please keep yourselves hydrated. Once you start getting a dehydration headache, you're kind of behind the game. You've got to stay ahead of it. You know, everything you see with balconies around here is residential. All right, your balconies are, but all the offices don't have balconies. Now, Chicago has been experiencing a very big residential building boom in the core of the city the last decade and a half. Now, this national phenomenon, this urbanization of American cities, is kind of the Europeanization of American cities. You know, Europeans often live in New York and their city centers. Americans, they did, it's our downtowns, but they're first of all, we're surrounded by facts. So it's good downtown. I see it. There's always nothing. Well, those things are all changed. Rebuild their lifestyle populations, choosing to move downtown, sell their leaves, snowballs, watermelons, and come downtown. Public transportation goes to work. See the two curved buildings on the right. Can you imagine they share the same radius? That is, the balcony residential building curves in at the same radius mark as the hot pocket office building curves out. So one goes in, one comes out. What's interesting over here, you'll see in a second that they are not only copying each other, but they are both copying the radius on the 40-year-old Nuveen building. There's Bill's gas building. So here's three buildings sharing one particular feature contextually. I didn't coincide, then you throw it. All right, guys, we're going to talk about the obvious very building in the room. It's this Y-shaped building right in front of us. Looks like a bottle walking upside down on the ground. It's about 5 years old. The house got in front of the building because it's sweet and cool on the outside. But the audience now, what you got here is you cover this building. It's caged. The back 2/3 of that lot are occupied by Amtrak Metro train lines. They go all these glass that's what's around the trucks of that. Right, so you're built back there. On the other side, the city owns a 30-foot setback. They go over there. That's a 39-foot wide base. Well, it's one unit, a very tall, very skinny, narrow-based office building in the Windy City. You see the problem with that tall building, Windy City. The issue of swaying, it's called drift. It's better to bend than break. The problem is that swaying makes people nauseous. You get a little sunset, so you want to try to stabilize. How do you do that? Well, Chicago's pretty good at it. We're going to talk about 3 stabilizing techniques today. The first one, this building has what's called inertial dampers. Here's what it is. Good water tanks. Inside the top floor of the building is 160,000 gallons of water in 12 tanks. Here's the way it works. Look at me for a second. When the building sways in one direction, the water in the tank simultaneously sloshes back the opposite way, correcting for that movement with a big giant water shock absorber. Brings this way up to the west. I'm here to talk about over the left. The Bank of America bill. Now it's about 3 years old. It takes about 3 years to build one of these. This one costs about $850. Now this is cool. Look right here coming up on the left. And what you see is really stainless steel panels. They're just not the windows on the exterior panels. On the other right side of the building is the office floor. They're building this years ago. You have to be on panels, put them on, just to show I just said to they called it the first floor. Okay, guys, over there, we're going to step into what we call our time machine, and we say that because these buildings don't have a blueprint. And so we're built chronological, sequential, so we're going to be able to watch through time. We're going to keep you each other buildings and that's what was going on. So it was infinite territory there. The first thing you see Art Deco, 1929, streamlining factory roaring in 2020 stopped roaring. Remember your history book, they have the U.S. economy. Generation. When they read architecture, you know, they reboot it all the way down to its essential core. This is what they get. It's fun. Now, the problem with this genre of architecture was here in Chicago, was living, was being born around. Pretty much says less is more. From its function, what they're going for is more with less. They're going for the elegant simplicity. Like a classy black box. Now, a question may be it's that. So, what were the only two boxes in the 50s and 60s? Well, think about it, because this generation that built these, they were depression kids. They grew up in poverty, were naturally thrifty, conservative, didn't value what their money, didn't want to waste it on ornamentation. They were busy building the infrastructure of our country. They didn't have time to sit around gargoyles and office towers.
I love it.
These modernist buildings never occupied their entire lot space. They always had extra large plaza around them. The plazas, that's where the people are. It's the plazas that give warmth and humanize what is otherwise a sterile substance. The next one, the white one, international style, 1970. They were so big. If you were hosting a building, you might have one in town. But the fourth one, but to the right, contextual is 1980s. They look out of the box. No more square thing. Buildings with reflective glass, like gypsies. Oh, texture. So that's how it falls. That's what he gave for the text. So you might be able to feel buildings. to strike Art Deco in to conceal the black boxes in the 50s, white boxes in the 70s, contextually engaging contemporary stuff these days, and that is the end of our TED Talk.
Ta-da!
With that sense of evolution right before the very eyes. Over to the right, look at the harmony, the balance. We got a fitness center, a bakery, coexisting, happily, keeping each other in business forever. Over the left, this building was boring. Nobody talked about it till a few years ago. The new owner spent $800,000 to put themselves on the map and stick out a little bit. Oh, vanity. Look up here. That's what they did. See that? This is a giant to scale view here. That old Lego brick sticking out. This building on the river. You can see we're coming down the south branch in Chicago.
Wow, and truck there.
You can see the great streets over there in the top there. Shift gears. No more buildings for it. We're going to shift gears, and this is where we are going to tell some stories. And one of those stories, we're going to talk about three important stories that will help us understand Chicago and its good citizens. All right, the first one is the story of the Great Chicago Fire. You may have heard we had a big fire with the Captain O'Leary. This is Captain O'Leary. Now, to tell that story properly, we're going to separate the tragic facts from the rather comic fiction. The facts are these. 1871, 152 years ago, October 8th, Sunday night, 9 p.m., a fire breaks out in Mrs. Catherine O'Leary's barn. Only a few hours to the right. No one knows how. The problem was the wind. Guys, there was a 30-mile storm from the west. That jumped across the river once, running for lives as the fire chased. Three days. The team had burned out more than 17,000 buildings. They left more than 100,000 people, no home, no possessions. Killed 300 people, could have been much worse, and burn out 3.5 square miles of the city center. Those are the facts. Now, the fiction, guys, is a lot more playful. Comes in with how did the fire start? And in the end, nobody really knows. Okay, that's why there are myths and legends. We do know that it started in Mrs. Catherine O'Leary's barn. 2 blocks to your right. We know she was an Irish Catholic immigrant, and we know that she owned a cow. We know that the city was angry, and we know they were looking to blame somebody. They were looking for a scapegoat. And of all people, they blamed her cow. Can you believe it? Of all people, they said Mrs. Catherine O'Leary's cow intentionally and maliciously kicked over a kerosene lantern which started the fire. Personally, I don't think it's true. I've known plenty of Irish cows. They wouldn't do that on purpose. I think the cow was framed. I think the city just needed an escape. Cow. Good job, Iowa. I think it was a cowspiracy. I think it's utterly unjust. Ooh, stay with me. The city had a beef with Mrs. O'Leary. She pretty much had to hoof it out of town. This is what I heard. Now, holy cow, or cowabunga, I know there was a lot at stake, but I think it's time Chicago stop milking this cheesy story and stop crying over spilt lanterns and move on. That's the end of it today. Come on, give it up. Hashtag dad jokes rule. The cow was framed. The fire was the worst thing, and some people think it was one of the best things to happen to Chicago. The first city of Chicago burnt down. This is the second city. One of the reasons it gets the nickname, the second city, it rose up out of the ashes of the old. Well, big urban fires attract architects who came from around the country to rebuild this city, which is pretty much all
Rebuild this city
today.
The built
So
this
there's our
city
first
of
story. It is
rock
a
and
story
roll
of
built this city.
destruction. Here's the second
Wow,
story.
look at that's nice.
So 22 short years after
Hello.
the fire
Hi,
had
Joe,
destroyed
Jesse.
the city,
I'm sorry I cannot
Chicago
really
had rebuilt itself
announce
well
or
enough
talk
to be
because
able to host
not allowed
the
to.
World's Fair of
So just
1893.
watch.
That's a
Shout
pretty
out to
good
you.
comeback.
How
Now,
are
the
you?
guy they put in charge
I will come
was
visit your
important.
your
Young
house.
architect named Daniel Barnum. Now, he is kind of the visionary who really
Chicago, I you
architect
see
of
that?
Chicago. He oversaw the design and build of the World's Fair facilities. It was down in Jackson Park, by the way, 55th Street. Imagine this campus that Barnum built. All right,
A lot of people.
200 buildings that looked as if Venice, Italy, or Athens, or maybe Paris had been imported and painted white. It was this classic European style beauty, this magical kingdom, this glowing utopia that was meant to inspire people with its beauty.
Yeah.
Literally
Living here.
inspire people with its beauty. You see, because Daniel
It's so
Barnum
nice.
was part of a
So nice
philosophy
here.
of architecture in the late 1800s called the City
Shout out to you,
Beautiful
sir.
Movement.
Thank you
What do you
so
guys
much.
think of this? I think it's true. They believed that beautiful cities, that beauty itself, has this inspiring, civilizing, dignifying effect on people. The beauty affects us, shows culture, makes us better.
Everything over there.
It's true. A lot of people came, they went back to New York, London, Paris, Boston, impressed, and said, oh my gosh, Chicago has no tables already from that fire and is now a world-class city. So that fair was important because it's
Philippines.
Place right there.
I miss Philippines.
Huh?
I miss Philippines. Oh.
Here's what's going to happen. And Captain Albert's going to go up here and do our second U-turn. This time, we're going to head out towards the lake. Where? Boston. You're going to get your best family photos with some amazing styling out there by the lake. Okay. Here's the third story. So Daniel Barnum grows up. He's a hero. He's a rock star. City leaders say, hey, Daniel, you're wicked smart. You know what he said, wicked smart. Why don't you replan, reimagine, redraw the map of this industrial chaotic city of Chicago in 1909? And he does. And he comes up with what we call Daniel Barnum Plan for Chicago. Now, this is arguably the first comprehensive urban city plan in the country, which means Chicago has been doing urban city planning longer than others and is very good at it. True story. Late last summer, one guy gets off the boat, tells me he just got his master's degree in urban city planning. He said they spent the first 2 weeks of grad school studying the Barnum Plan of Chicago 1909. It's kind of a big deal. Now, Daniel Barnum, City Beautiful Movement, remember him? He wants Chicago to be, as he said, Paris on the prairie. Paris on the prairie. Here we are in the Midwest Plains. Paris on the prairie. Big boulevards, fountains, monuments, public art, great vistas. He wants Chicago to be a city in a garden. Not a garden in the city. That's a different priority. He wants every Chicago citizen to be within walking distance to a park. You know, there are 614 parks in the city of Chicago. 9% of the land is park space. In fact, many of our 246 neighborhoods are named after the parks that they surround. Two parks from Humboldt Park. Our biggest park, by the way, is called Lincoln Park. 1,200 acres, free zoo, free conservatory. Lincoln, 1,200 acres, that's 1.5 times larger than New York's Central Park. Now, the plan, it shaped the face and the character of the city in so many ways. What was on the Barnum Plan? Well, Grant Park itself, the whole front lawn, the playground of the city of Chicago, it's all land for that was on the Barnum Plan. Museum campus on the plan. Buckingham Fountain, Navy Pier on the Barnum Plan. He helped clarify the grid pattern of streets, making it easy to find your way around town. The concept of the river walk was on the Burlington in 1909. It took us over 100 years to achieve that one. Here's another one. East Coasters are reminiscent of this one. 18-foot wide alleyways through the city of Chicago. Alleyways are smart because that's where you put the trash. Californians. That's where they put the trash in the alleys, not on the front sidewalk like they have to do in over East Coast cities. So you can see we got a clean city from it as well. You know, many Chicagoans might recognize Daniel Bowen's famous quotation. What do you think of this one? He said, make no small plans, because they will magic to stir men's blood. And as we got this magically beautiful city that inspires, it stirs men's blood because you dare to dream big dreams. So hopefully, guys, you can see these three stories, they actually go together.
Where's that
A fight destroyed, a fair enemy. Beautiful. All good back. The Irish vow.
Ito after.
Years of therapy, dealing with guilt and shame. Sin architect, sin architect, strikes in. Never see within a sin. Nobody mind. These social scientists type architects, much more interested in building citizens and communities. It's all about how we live. Next up, we're going to talk about Chicago's royalty. A king and a queen, which we can have. Can you see the king? I bet you can. Look straight ahead, tall, dark, and handsome. Two big men tunnels. There's the king. Can you see the queen?
Yes.
Just this side of it, the octagonal shaped building with the barrel crowns. Looks like a chess piece of a queen, doesn't she? Let's start there. When that octagonal shaped building debuted in 1990, those barrels were illuminated at night. In the 1800s, fluorescent tents. They're mostly LED these days. The point is, it was so bright. Migrating birds thought it was the moon got disoriented with that flight path. So they now turn those lights down in bird migration season, spring and fall. And then the king, you ready for it? Tall, dark, and handsome, king of the hill, star of the show. It's the Willis Tower.
What
Yes,
is
from Chicago, and we're probably still calling it the Sears
That's
Tower.
funny.
Tower.
Down,
1974.
down.
Sears department store, which kiddos, believe it or not, that was the Amazon of the day. Sears builds the tallest building in the world in the Windy City.
So that's the
See the
girls'
name of that
building.
tall building, Windy City, the issue of sway. It's called drift. Makes people nauseous. Did you know the top floor is Sears Willis Tower? The sway is about 8 inches in each direction of it. It's enough that people can feel it. It's enough that you won't spot in the toilet. Now, how do you deal with it? Here's how they did it.
Okay.
Here's our second three stabilizing techniques. It's as if they built 9 rails and kind of grouped them together with 300 feet grid at the base of the bundle of straws. Imagine that the Sears Willis Tower is made of 9 columns at different heights. Each column is 75 feet by 75 feet square, and they are grouped or bundled together, which keeps the building from swaying. Only 2 of the unique columns go into 110 floors. The building is 1,451 feet tall. That's 442 meters. And you measure a tall building from the threshold of the door. And the lowest opening up public entrance up to the top of the structure or spine. There's an intent, that spine, the building. Some town and new buildings have spires, they're homes, there's where they can, which is considered for spire. Sears was the tallest building in the world for 24 years. They just you know,
4 years.
the front tallest building in the country is called One World Trade Center, New York City, which is the patriotic height of 1776. However, did you know the roof of our Sears Willis Tower is actually 83 feet taller than the roof of One World Trade Center?
Nga po na yan.
Their building is considered tall. Sears department store
There, guys.
building in the 1990s. That was pretty sample. It's a big employer. And the Willis Insurance Brokerage Group for payment. Has been releasing roof floors, releasing the areas. So we're usually doing that. Yes. They call him Spider-Man because he was wearing Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. The second one to do it was the Frenchman, named Alain Robert. They call him the French Spider-Man. He did it fast around 2 minutes. Both of them made it successfully. Both of them were successfully. That was different stuff. Alain Robert. I think that was you and I was on all the tallest buildings in the world, including the first. Which is
Oh, wow. Wow, that's
Makes it even twice as tall as Sears Tower. Why not talk about that? That's because the lead architect of that tallest building in the world is Adrian Smith from Chicago, who built our Trump Tower. That's why they call him the world's tallest architect at 5'7". And that's how Chicago keeps trying to tall buildings. But that's on the event. Look up to the right as it comes back into view. You see the 5 black boxes. There they are, sticking out from the whole third floor sky gap. You see, very few. I walked out onto about an inch and a half of glass, and I looked down through their feet and you.
fitness, Formula Clubs.
Most Chicagoans would suggest Sears Willis Tower by day, Hancock Tower by night, but they're both pretty good.
Hello,
Check
Moto.
this out. Remember the antenna?
Yan, maganda Motorola.
Antenna at the top of the city is the same height as this black box building right here. That's how big the antenna are. Imagine that building on top of that building, right? Now, Chicago, more than any city in the world that I know of, Chicago has a lot of nicknames, right? The second city, you know, one of the reasons, the first one brought down. The Windy City, 2 reasons for this one. One, the obvious, usually pretty windy, but also gets that name. You've heard that. When Chicago was campaigning to host the World's Fair in 1893, Chicago sent its politicians and promoters to Congress to campaign. Couldn't stop bragging about Chicago. Congressman called them those windbag blowhards from that windbag city in Chicago for some windbag bragger. Also called Siberia after a couple of bad winters, about -24 years ago. Chi-Town, the city on the lake, the Paris on the prairie, the city in a garden, the city of broad shoulders, the third coast, the city of neighborhoods, and from the song Sweet Home in Chicago. But the main Chicago comes from the Potawatomi Native American song describing the smell of the plants in this location and this bush named such Chicago, which means sticky onion. So yeah, New York is the Big Apple, but Chicago is the big sticky onion. Very proud of that. Also, Cal, the city that works. Now, this one is playing on the idea that it's both a working class, rigged union, blue collar town. It's definitely is the same. New York City talk, they always saw show, Chicago's all working. Well, it's a city that lives, that functions. Big sports town, pretty good public transportation system. Easy to figure out. Look at the track. Think of some of the famous bus drivers. I say Fortune 500 companies. Here's Boeing's building right there. We got McDonald's, Walgreens, Motorola, United Airlines have put up. Big foodie town, all kinds of celebrities, chefs, fancy restaurants. You're not going to go hungry in Chicago. Guys, let's talk about food for a second. Because Chicago is most famous for our deep dish pizza, Chicago style hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and popcorn. The Chicago style hot dog. All right, wherever you see a sign that says Vienna beef, that's the brand. You'll get a good Chicago all beef hot dog, and you want yours with everything on they call that drug through the garden because it comes out with pickles, peppers, relish, tomatoes, onions, mustard, everything except ketchup. Yep, it's a Chicago thing. You just don't put ketchup on the Chicago.
Nandyan na.
I think
Thank you so much.
Deep dish pizza, everyone's got their things. They're all very good. My wife and I love Blue Mountain Hotties. They got a good sausage, pepperoni, butter paste. Now there is a place, guys, called Fort Tibbs. It's a 15-minute walk from where we get off the boat. They have really good Chicago style hot dogs and Italian beef sandwiches. Let me explain a Chicago Italian beef. My wife and I thick sliced roast beef cooked in its own seasoned juice. Take a hunk of beef, you put it in a French roll. You take the French roll, you dump it back into the juice, you put some giardiniera peppers on, it's got soy and meat and beans, need some napkins, but very, very tasty. Garrett's, it's all warm, it's all around town, you want the Chicago mix. Over the right, see this beautiful purple first environment building in the second row. The purple building is a green building in the eco-friendly, low-carbon footprint, environmental conscious sort of way. Literally has a green roof with plants watered by recycled drinking fountain water. Leads the country in what's called a certified buildings. That's leadership and energy and environmental design Chicago is the lead the and duration. The bridges, yes, the bridges only closed about 50 times a year. Most of the sailboats with the mascot, they were to the lake in the spring and back in the fall. Well, here's something that a very good thing. You know that these bridges are made of steel. And you know that steel expands and contracts with temperature. That means the gap in these bridges is changing with temperature. As it reduces, the name shrinks the gap. It's a little bit. The hotter it is, the name expands. And it gets too much. And you get it up in the summer. Michigan Avenue Bridge expanded. In that one stop shop. What did they do? Called in the fire department folks to come to spray down the bridge with water to cool off the steel so they would shrink enough when you get it popped open and when the cell goes to. That kind of neat. Bridges, okay. How you doing, bud? You guys doing all right? Okay, this. Stages. This is because you got a beautiful day to experience the city. It's only 90. So it may not sounds fun.
Para yung lagayan ng apple pie.
People enjoying the ritual walk.
Lagayan ng apple pie, guys.
Set of chairs.
Together.
See this ginormous Art Deco merchandise mart building right in front of us. Did you know in 1930 that was the largest, not the tallest, the largest building in the world? How big? 25 floors,
Wow.
43 elevators, 96 acres of floor space. That's 73 football fields, wow, 7.5 miles of hallway.
Ito. O, gawin yun.
So
Kita, salamin, lahat.
2 city blocks. It's a big
Not
building,
this
right?
one.
And
That
it's
one.
a warehouse, it's a warehouse that showrooms, commercial field, wholesale furniture, and it's a tech office, Motorola's headquarters. They, and they are lighting it up at night. Now, if you guys are looking for something fun to do in the evening, sunset, here's one deal. Because they're lighting it up at night. We come over the bridge, over the left, and I love it. That's the wall for this. You're gonna see spots behind the spots. Is $1 million very sophisticated projector system. All right, and every night, check the website for today's 3.5 hour show. But picture interview, go to artist, and projecting across the river onto the entire
Pumpkins.
merchandise. It's called Art on the Mark. Now, this is the largest permanent art display in the world. 2.5 acres. Look how big that screen is. You gotta see it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, 8:30 or so is the time when the sunset.
Ay, mga building.
Now, learn to work, because as we come up to the bridge over to the right, you're gonna see the glass box. Now, this is kind of cool. You see the glass box here, right here in a second. You know, there it is. Do you know that they've given these 34 projectors to shine onto the entire facade of the building except for all of the windows. They calibrated with lasers
So,
to avoid and mask and not shining the windows to other people that are working. Which I think is pretty cool. Check to the right. See these stainless steel posts. This is cool. The base of which are these floating gardens. They're called
Where?
fish hotels.
what's the floating
The
garden?
idea is
Oh, that one.
each of these gravity plants,
Oh, hydroponic.
they have some of the native species of fish
Hydroponic.
can repopulate the river.
It's not hydroponic though.
Spawn.
But everything was that long and a long time. Okay, Sergio.
All right, guys, eyes up, cameras up, simply because you're
Oh,
coming
but God, this is
full
shell.
section of
Like Marigan, baby.
bridges,
I know.
the sky. Looking at your soul, let the people sink in. Crossing a street.
Yeah.
Do you know that in 1940, according to the curriculum of 1909, widened the South Street the way. The problem was this, right? Grocery warehouse building on the left. Well, what did they do? Kind of clever. They used some chop off. There are 5 days of videos to go. See that fence?
Good Sonic
You can tell it's lopsided because they cleaned up the brick facade on the left to mirror the other side, kind of cover up the pool. Okay, over to the right. And I see this short spot little building coming up, number 55 on, we will call it Danny DeVito building.
Oh, you can go sit down there.
This is a short-lived
It's nice.
architectural style from the late 60s. And you have seen this on campuses, government buildings, at Boston, big government center.
Ikaw tayo. Yaman. Yaman.
Modern design, like you can see right here. All right. So here's the light for a while. This, meanwhile, we're going to shift gears again. This is
Nakatakot ba niya? Mahulog ba? No?
my
Okay kayo.
I want you guys to form your opinion. You guys are well traveled. You're from all over the world. We're going to talk about how
Parking
cities
space.
feel.
Hindi mo ikadlo ka na no?
Many people
Mahulog na yan. Mga car yan guys.
has a
Parking.
feel in the East Coast, different vibe than New York, Boston, Philly. So I love those. There's a difference. I thought about it. I got my little pet peeve.
You've been there already.
I think it has something to do.
No?
I don't think using
That you don't go down?
Chicago's got more room, space.
Oh, look at that.
I think it's psychological, cultural different. What's straight ahead? Cities, four buildings. These are unique.
Oh, you also nest.
Are the only four tall towers on the river that abut each other.
Oh,
That is
but
the
this
built right up next to each
Ah,
other.
grabe kayo ba yun?
Watch
Ay,
these four buildings, pay
ginoo.
attention to how they make you feel. Imagine yourself in this East Coast city where you see this little slit of snow above. How's that feel? So yeah, how busy, crowded, congested, intense, overwhelming in the face. You feel that East Coast tyrants you got. Now, East Coast city planners, they choose to do it like this because they want to sell and utilize every square inch of parents. You can sell it all. You put billboards and you can sidewalk. But this is what you're all about. Not about overwhelming intense. Now, from here, East Coast way to this. Look straight out here. Look at the space around the building. These buildings can breathe. You can breathe. See, I think this personal space around the buildings in Chicago makes a huge psychological and a cultural difference. Would you say Chicagoans themselves, even in a more laid back, as intense, not to mention Marines, so that space has a calming effect on us. You know, architecture matters. Architecture needs space. This was over the left, across the street from the White Wrigley building, please go to Chicago Tribune Town. This is called French Gothic Revival. Named after the cathedral in Normandy, France. Now, landmark building is just supposed to be the top rehab, turning the big newspaper into honestly believe that. Now remember who said that in the early 1920s. They were importing European style to use. Which fits our rest of the day.
Party.
In a temple of
Party in there.
the
Party mo.
right here to your left. is more under covered by the roof. From the roof inside. I kind of back in the air for a minute. You know, people are having trouble finding the building from the plaza. Standing right next to it, looking right through the building. Guys, our next building is called the John Hancock Tower. Now, the Hancock, though it's the fifth tallest in the city, is kind of the iconic building in this island. Now, you're going to see a quick glimpse of it over on the left. It's a half a mile to the north in between these two buildings. You'll recognize it because it's a black tracker field.
Hello.
This brings us to the skeleton. There it is, right there. And you can go up to their sky deck.
You were there? Where? You're there?
You
No?
up there, or you can go up for free to the 95th floor.
Not this one.
Make sure
The next one.
you get a pricey
This one.
take.
I didn't see
I
it.
don't want to miss this, guys.
This one?
See the
No.
James Harden?
This one? This one?
No.
It's boring.
This one?
No.
This one?
Reference it because we're going to talk
Where?
You missed?
in the
I missed it already. The one, the one.
just a second.
Ah,
You're going to see a cool building with white horizontal curvy pins.
I missed it.
You see it up there? It's see it in the second row. It's not the Alamo.
It's really, really big, this city, huh?
The tower. High-end residence and hotel. Each unit has its own unique balcony.
It's gonna go, for
Waves
right,
of water.
Coast America.
This one was designed by a Chicago native star
I'm gonna do that.
named
Columbus Drive.
She has her own architectural firm here in Chicago. She is a Chicago native, Harvard graduate, and a genius. Really, a
Genius.
And she's been visible. You see her on
Guys, bye guys. Thank you for watching.
stair step built
Gonna end up here.
called the St. Regis.
Bye, thank you, and God bless you.
Residence and hotels.
Bye, thank you. Don't forget to thumbs up, like and share, please.
There's
Thank you.
Seuss built.